Hello, today I'd like to discuss Lunacy St Rhodes. It's a horror game where you inherit the family property, and of course it has a past that you have to deal with. Special thanks go to Stormling Games and Iceberg Interactive for the review key. This review is based on about 10 hours of gameplay and a completed run. All opinions and footage are solely mine. You're all busy people, so let me answer your most pressing question first. Are you going to enjoy it? The 30-second spiel is that this game is a narrative horror experience. It has an oppressive atmosphere that it combines with sound cues to keep you on edge, instead of relying on jump scares. The gameplay tends towards the linear side, but it's clear that the developers had a story they wanted the player to experience, and the gameplay is closely tied to that. This is a game that will appeal to players who enjoy atmospheric horror. If that sounds like something you'd like, then stay with me and we'll go deeper into the details. Like many things, it started with a phone call. Apparently you just inherited the family home, but despite real estate prices, that doesn't seem to make you happy. Your family has a dark past, and now you have to face it. The game proper has you entering the long abandoned village. It's a dark and stormy night, and things aren't going to get any better. Just worse until this ordeal is over. The first thing you'll notice is the atmosphere. The game is particularly good at using the darkness to make the player feel vulnerable, and enhancing that with sounds that keep you on edge. Welcome home indeed. As the game proceeds, you'll have to dig into your family's dark history through notes and diary entries that tell the story of experiments and delving into the occult. In some ways the story is not particularly unique, but at the same time the notes give voice to the characters writing them, and the player is allowed to interpret them to create a narrative in their head as they find new information. The other side of the game's focus on the narrative is that the gameplay tends to be pretty linear. You have to get to place A, look for item B, and use it for C. Usually items exist for a specific purpose, and most locations, aside from your family house, tend to be used for a single purpose. So unfortunately, you shouldn't expect much replayability beyond trying to find all the collectibles. The pacing tends to keep the player active, but there are specific points where needless complexity was added. For example, this pattern unlocks the door, but it's just a matter of following the instructions next to it. So it looks complex, and if you don't get what the game wants you to do, you can waste a lot of your time. But that complexity is just an illusion, and a key like most of the other locked doors would have been enough. Early on, keeping the player vulnerable works great. You're jumping at your own shadow more often than not. But towards the end, the game changes its focus more towards action than psychological horror. After that, it's more about running than sneaking. That undermines the game's greatest strength. Instead of jumping at shadows, you can now see the enemy and destroy them. That sense of vulnerability is gone, and once you work out how to deal with enemies, that sense of fear is mostly gone. Generally the game plays well and is bug-free and stable. There are 2 points where you can trap yourself, but nothing that can't be solved with a quick reload. It should take you between 5 to 10 hours to finish the game, depending on how much time you spend looking for collectibles, and while playing, the pacing feels pretty brisk. Lunacy St Rhodes is a game that makes good use of atmosphere and audio to keep players vulnerable. It has a focus on a story it wants to tell, and as such it tends towards linear gameplay. So if you enjoy dark stories with great atmosphere, then this game may be one to look out for. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.